So you want to think about the difference between stroking for you versus stroking for what's going to feel good for her. It's very different and it's very subtle, but you'll find yourself, if you stay inside and just kind of grind and move slowly when you're in her, you're giving her a vulva massage with your body, and that'll make her come.
I'm Amy.
I'm April.
Certified sex educators, sexperts of the year, and best-selling authors.
And we're on a mission to help you have more spicy, connected, and amazing shameless sex.
Welcome to the Shameless Sex Revolution.
We're so close, it's like we have our own language. We're making sex and relationships shameless.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.
You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to the Shameless Sex Podcast. This episode is about riding that D, Ride Em Cowgirl. How to ride.
Ride them. Just ride them.
Which is perfect for early July.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I just decided that.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Why not? Why not ride it?
You can ride a firework into the sky.
Oof. Yeah. Actually, maybe you want to. This is Dr. Sadie Allison, who has been on our show multiple times, many times. And what was extra special is her daughter was here too, hanging out on the sidelines.
And we recorded with her daughter as well.
After, which will be next week.
And it was in person, everyone, which is cool. So we have video that pairs with this podcast.
Yes. And if you'd like to hear about sex in college, listen next week with her daughter. She's awesome. Sienna and Sadie, they're a magical duo.
She's a singer too.
Yes, you'll hear a song from her. What is cool that's happening in September, Chip?
So September is Shameless Sextember. We've coined that, and we're hoping that it really catches fire. And it's also our retreat, our 5th retreat that we've done, back by popular demand. We're going to be in Palm Springs again at this incredible property that is just next level. And I am so excited. So September 11th through the 14th.
Yep. So 3 nights, 3 days of magic.
3 nights, 3 days. 3 nights, 3 days.
3 nights, 3 days. So yes, and it will sell out sooner than later because our last retreat in the same area sold out very quickly. And
this one's already had bookings like up the wazoo.
Right away. And we hope to see you there to learn, laugh, enjoy, relax,
play,
maybe get a little turned on.
Play.
All of the above and play. Yeah. Are you ready for a sex question?
I am ready.
All right. Cool. My husband and I want to explore threesomes.
Bum, bum, bum.
I was waiting for that.
It needed that.
Or like, woo, good for you. But I'm more comfortable with the idea of doing it in real life than he is. I had a few experiences in college, and we are both excited to share threesomes together at some point, but he's never done anything like that in the past. Any ideas on ways to help him become more confident or comfortable, or how to get started as a horny couple in their early 30s? I love that.
A horny couple. Honk if you're horny.
Yes. Good for y'all.
That's great.
Yeah.
But thankfully, there's like a digital age going on. Yeah. So there's plenty of options for this.
Yeah, like you don't need to dive full on in like being with other bodies and doing the things.
That
you can also test things out on the interwebs.
Yeah.
Listen to some podcasts.
That's safe
watch
and
some porn.
effective. Yes. See how you go. You can definitely watch some threesome porn.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to choose from.
And I think, so what's really helpful with that, so our favorite, Erica Lust,
yes.
with a K, Erica with a K, ericalust.com. What we love about, so many things about what Erica Lust does, including it being ethical, female director. It's just super hot, tasteful, all the things.
Editorial.
Yes, all the hot scenes. And there's an opportunity for it to be educational in that you can watch it with your partner and just gauge, hey, so let's pretend that this third was here as we watch this. Like, what would that feel like? Would be into what they're doing with what we're seeing? Would it land? And then you can take notes and then put that into real life later. Like Erica Lust porn could teach you about what you actually want to do in real life and don't want to do.
Well, here's the thing. What if your partner who has never had an experience with threesomes doesn't know what he would like? What if he's like, I don't know if I want another dude. What do you want? Or I don't know if I want a chick, or I don't know what I want. So let's scroll through some Erica Lust really beautifully shot videos, films, and see what scenes we are into. Yeah. And there's a hot one that you actually also mentioned earlier, the Lust threesomes. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love some threesomes, especially in porn. And so this is Michael and Susie and Hazel.
Real life couple.
Yes.
Michael and Susie Q are a real life couple.
Yes. And then they bring in a third, and it's a fun and flirty return to an old flame with palpable chemistry, deep trust, and seriously. And so here's another reason why I love ericalust.com. You can see more of the preliminary, like, okay, so we're going to have a threesome. Like, they don't talk about it a lot. They kind of dive in eventually, but it doesn't open with like banging. You can see some of the behind the scenes. Here's how we actually gauge if this is a good fit. And then like, let's all see about our chemistry and like go into some foreplay stuff.
It's
and
like
I
a
think
story.
that's really, yes.
It's a real story.
Whereas other everyday porn, you're like, so where did all the like conversations go?
Well, there's like buildup. It's not just straight shot to the genitals where there's just pumping and
which
thrusting.
for threesomes usually doesn't work out. No. If you just go right for the genitals, you're like, okay, so this is kind of feeling.
And there's this particular, the Lust threesomes from Erica Lust. You could feel the real chemistry between the actors, probably because they're a real life couple. I was thinking about how difficult it would be, though, for me to perform with my partner on film. I'd be like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. In general. And then you had a third.
Well, yeah. And then you're like, whoa. And well, watching porn, have you watched porn with your partner?
Yeah, a couple times.
So it's really, there's now research that's come out because some people will say, oh, I can't watch porn. It's like my private thing, which I used to feel that way. But the research, which I love some stats, does show that it helps bring couples closer together. And I think that it's true. And the research shows that couples who watch porn together stay together. I don't know if that's the saying, but they try new things.
We just made it a saying. It's real now.
Couples that watch porn together stay together. But you'll try new things. And I think there's like, you can talk, like you said, you start new conversations.
Yeah.
And
even if you don't do it eventually, right? Like you can watch porn and be like, okay, is this our thing? Are we into it? Am I into it? It can create this pathway to discovering more about yourself, even if it doesn't turn into the thing that you actually do in real life.
Because people fantasize about things, and then sometimes it can be a real life situation and you're like, whoa,
there's separate things, like there's like fantasy and there's real life, and sometimes they collaborate and like work together, and a lot of times they don't. So you can check them out and also I want to throw this out there because it looks like threesomes, right? So listen to episode 423 about unicorns. That's the third with Reed Mihalko. This is not related to Erica Lust, but I think this is really helpful and beneficial if you're looking for a third party in real life.
Bro, with threesomes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I think he has a PhD in threesomes.
He does.
I swear.
He's got a PhD. Nuts in threesomes.
And then Erica Lust, she is a creator. I've watched her win awards at XBiz, director, filmmaker, and she was on our show. It was not too long, 376. And we talked about porn, of course, but then we also talked about empowering gangbangs.
I know you're not looking for a gangbang, but still relevant.
It was cool. Right. Yeah. So, and then because you're listening, if you want to save 45% to check out Erica Lust, I would suggest it because it's worth it. You use code couples45 at Erica with a K, lust.com. So ericalust.com and couples45. You won't be disappointed.
I have yet to talk to anyone that was disappointed about that. Like, it's ericalust.com is hot and informative, and also hot and extra hot.
You were like, my partner watches them.
I know. He told me the other day, but it's not. It was like, I was like, oh, do tell me more.
Yeah, know where your porn comes from. Oh, cool. I like that question. I love a threesome.
Me
All right.
too.
You want to hear Dr. Sadie's bio?
Yes, please.
Here we go. Dr. Sadie Allison is a pioneering sexologist, best-selling author with 25 years of experience. She helps people feel confident in their sexuality and enjoy more meaningful pleasure. With 6 award-winning illustrated sex books under her belt, including Tickle His Pickle and Ride Em Cowgirl, Dr. Sadie is also the creator of Slippery Kitty, a clean, body-safe, water-based lubricant. She also runs online pleasure boutique that's called TickleKitty.com. So check out Dr. Sadie right here.
All right, everyone, it is interview time, and we are here with repeat guest, the amazing Dr. Sadie Allison. She has written many, many, many books. Last time she was on a show, we talked about tickling his pickle. Oh, yes. This time we are talking about practical riding positions. And she's the author of Ride Em Cowgirl! And also
I'm being Vanna White over
Cow
here.
Humans. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yes. April on
There you go.
the shy lines. There she is. And this is an in-person episode and recording in Santa Cruz. Dr. Sadie lives in San Francisco. I will not give you her address, so you cannot stalk her. Her daughter is here too. Shameless shout out, because her daughter will be guesting on our show meeting in an hour. She will be on the microphone, and we will release the episode with her, Sienna, about sex in college. So, but we'll wait for that. Everyone's like, yeah. So let's focus on Riding Em Cowgirl right now. So we're super stoked to have you back. Can you please tell us a little bit more about how you got to where you are today in the field of sexuality? And also, your book, Ride Em Cowgirl, offers over 100 illustrated positions and prioritizes both partners' pleasure. So what inspired you to write that? So it's like your history and that book.
Great. Hi, you guys. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be back. I was nicknamed Little Dr. Ruth in high school, if that means anything.
Totally. Yeah, we know who Dr. Ruth is.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I was the go-to girl that people would come to ask sex advice and questions. And I realized that I was really good at giving advice, and I would teach my girlfriends how to masturbate. Not physically, but I would tell them about the clitoris, lubrication, different ways that they can touch and explore themselves. And so I basically gave them the knowledge and, even more importantly, permission that it was okay. That was a big deal, because so many people had hangups and didn't want to touch themselves. So I went on to college. I was still coaching girls on the side as a hobby, did it all through high school, college, corporate world. And then one day I said, gosh, I've taught so many women how to have orgasms. I should write it down and give it away for fun, and I can help more people. So that idea evolved. I ended up writing a book called Tickle Your Fancy, and which teaches women how to masturbate. And that was the beginning of my formal career as a sex educator. And I launched Tickle Kitty, which is my publishing arm, and eventually wrote 6 best-selling sex books that teaches you basically all the fundamentals in the bedroom and how to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, and weren't you called the penis genius?
Yeah, that's right.
The penis genius. I remember that.
I'm looking at your daughter like, that's your mom.
It was coined by who? Dr. Drew? Or
it was from Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Carolla.
Yes. I'm known for being the penis genius, because Tickle His Pickle was the very first book published on giving hand jobs and blowjobs.
Wow.
I'm very proud of that. And it's helped a lot of people have better sex.
It has. It's great. It's sitting in front of us right now. And we love having Dr. Sadie on the show, because we learn so much every time. And this Ride Em Cowgirl, which is a topic that we have had on the show before, and people have different techniques, right? And there's still a lot of folks that don't feel comfortable being on top. And I was one of them for a while, and I don't know. And Amy, you're tall. Have you ever had that where you're like, I'm too tall to be on top? Or
she's like, no.
No. Yes. And it's more about flexibility for me, but I think we'll probably get into that.
Flexibility.
Yeah. I'm built like I'm a 6'3".
You can't do the splits yet? No.
Gangly dude, but I'm a 5'9" chicks.
And a hot one at that.
Thank you. But you should see me on top. It'll give me a little awkward.
Well, and this is the thing. People have their own idea about what it would be like or should be like to be on top. So let's talk about, we're talking about Ride Em Cowgirl. So let's talk about some of the main fears that people have, or maybe challenges. I know maybe knee stuff could be some. So can you talk about when it comes to getting on top, what some fears or challenges could be for folks?
Sure. A lot of it has to do with body image. So we were talking about, the size, height, and things, but body image, so many people have it, men and women. And so women will sometimes turn off the lights, for example, don't want to get on top if they can be seen. They have insecurities about their breasts, for example. So what I always suggest is just get in tune with yourself, which is where self-pleasure comes in. Because the more comfortable you are in your own skin and understanding your own body, the more you can be expressive and move forward to experiment in the bedroom. And it's why I have over 100 positions in Ride Em Cowgirl, because you can actually make the adjustments you need so that you're comfortable. So you were mentioning being tall. So you might get on top and have one foot up and your other knee bent as normal. And that might provide you with more leverage, and you can put your hands on the bed. You can put your hands on his chest if you're a short girl like me. So I might, when I've been with guys that are super tall or bigger, I have to find my rhythm and the position that works for me with that new partner. So it's really about being open to explore and try new things. And that's why I give so many different ideas, because you might not know what works for you until you try it. And every new lover is different.
You've got pregnant people. I'm paging through the book, and there's curvy people, and it's not all about just being on top. There's lots of different positions. The wishboner. Okay, we'll come back to that.
The wishboner is great. And then there's sporking, which is like...
Wait, what? Okay, let's talk spork. Tell us about sporking. Okay. I must know about
So sporking is a version of spooning. So we all know spooning, where, your lover's behind you, but you lift one leg up and he's behind you. So you're kind of like a fork in a spoon. And now he can more easily do the reach around, which I love.
Oh, the reach around. I love the old reach around.
You got to involve the clitoris always. But that's the best part of spooning, is not only is it intimate and cuddly and more comfortable for a lot of people, but it's easy access for your partner to reach around and rub your clitoris while you're making love, and you're feeling the fullness of him inside you while you're having your clitoris and vulva touch at the same time. Hey guys, hint, hint, that's how she'll come back for more.
Hey. So is it riding if I'm, so we're in a sporking, I think as we said, position where he's laying on his back and then I'm like laying on top of, so we're facing the same direction, but my back is on his chest, and then he's doing the old reach around, but then I'm moving my hips. Am I riding?
Oh yeah.
Where I'm like facing the ceiling, but I'm still
That's kind of like reverse cowgirl, but you're both laying down back is what you're describing.
So I'm still riding. So I ride a lot. I'm looking at your daughter. Sorry.
It's good exercise too,
side saddle. It's like you're riding a side saddle, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking, because not all of these are getting on top. I'm noticing that.
Oh no.
So that's cool.
There's so many. And there's different, furniture in the house that you going on the kitchen counter once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, mix it up. Get out of the bedroom.
I'm really enjoying looking through this. Okay.
So let's talk about the beginning stages of sex for people. So we're talking about riding, which is like a later stage generally. It takes a lot of buildup or time, especially if you're doing some sort of penetration in orifices. So what do people often overlook about the beginning stages of sex, like foreplay, arousal, lubrication, and dun dun dun, or entry?
There you go. And that's so important. So we all know foreplay feels great and we love it, but I want people to know that it's actually necessary. It's not just because it feels good. Men, their bodies are ready to go. The wind blows. You get a boner, you can go. You're excited. Yeah. Women take at least usually 15 to 20 minutes just to get warmed up to where we're actually ready and in the mood, and that our body becomes lubricated and it'll be comfortable and pleasurable. The thing I want to mention is I want to talk about putting it in.
Ooh, entry.
Yes, entry.
I like this.
This is so not talked about, and it's so important. And so many grown men still can use a little help in this area. Certain people. So once she's wet, she's aroused, she's ready to go. You've kissed, you've talked, you've whispered sweet nothings in her ear. It's time to put it in. And I want to suggest that you switch it up and go much slower than you usually would, and put very little pressure when you go to put the penis inside. Because what happens is a lot of guys have these raging boners. They go down and they're like fumbling in the dark trying to shove it in. And it hurts.
Yeah. Body's not ready for it.
No.
Yeah.
And also, you're not in the right spot. So if you have the head of your penis and it's pushing against the side of her vagina, which is, you got your bones down there, we have thin skin and your vaginal tissue, and it eventually makes it in, but you're kind of shoehorning it in, and it hurts us.
Shoehorning did not sound hot when you said that. I was like,
And so the way I describe it, if you were to have like an eyelash in your eye, and you like pulled your lower eyelid down and you're using your fingertip to kind of rub it out gently and slowly, that's how gently you should be putting pressure against her vagina till you find it. So basically take the head of your penis, she's nice and wet, or use some lube if you need, rub your head around till it kind of finds that little area where it starts to go in, bloop.
Yeah.
And then you thrust forward slowly. But until you find where the entrance of the vagina is, don't shove hard yet, because it hurts us.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Calling all pleasure seekers. Are you ready to unlock your full potential and live a life of unapologetic joy? We're thrilled to invite you to our exclusive Desert Retreat for All, hosted by us, Amy and April from the Shameless Sex Podcast. Imagine escaping to a luxurious desert villa near Palm Springs, California for 3 days of sun-kissed bliss, September 11th through the 14th. This is not an orgy or a sex party, everyone. It is an all-inclusive retreat designed to help you break free from the ordinary and discover your unique pleasure blueprint.
Enjoy immersive workshops, poolside lounging, and unforgettable activities in a safe, judgment-free space. Whether you're flying solo, paired up, or bringing your besties, our pleasure paradise is the perfect haven to explore, connect, and thrive. Don't miss this rare opportunity to transform your life and join a community of like-minded individuals. This retreat is almost full and will sell out, so secure your spot now at shamelesssex.com and see for yourself why past attendees have called this retreat an unfucking believable experience.
How do I stay in the moment and truly enjoy sex? What's stopping me from orgasming with my partner? I'm ready to explore my kinks and fantasies in the bedroom. Where do I start? You and your fantasies aren't broken, but your sex ed probably was. I'm DB, sex educator with a Master's of Public Health and host of Sex Ed with DB, your go-to podcast for smart, science-backed sex education featuring trusted insights from conversations with top experts about everything you've been too scared to ask about sex. And this season, we're going all in on pleasure. Solo pleasure, partner pleasure, orgasms, porn, queer joy, kinks, sex toys, fantasies, you name it. We're here to help you feel more informed, more empowered, and a whole lot more turned on to help you have the best sex. Listen to Sex Ed with DB wherever you get your podcasts, and tune into our newest season all about pleasure every Wednesday starting June 18th. Sex Ed with DB. It's the sex ed you've always wanted.
Yeah, and I think a lot of vulva owners are very used to shoving things in, like tampons and, their own fingers to check out their own bodies, and then also other people's body parts and fingers. So every time I hear this reminder of go slow and then wait for the body to kind of invite you in, is how I took that, at least. Every time I've experienced that, it's been I've had a really great sex.
Exactly. Because guys ask me, how do I get my wife or my girlfriend to have more sex with me? And I'm like, well, is she having a good time? Are you really slowing down to please your lover? That's my favorite saying, is be a generous lover.
Yeah.
Because if you learn your lover's body, it's comfortable for her, it's pleasurable, you're giving her the orgasms she likes, you're taking your time, you know how to touch her pussy, she'll come back for more. You'll get it tenfold. Yeah. So if you just focus on her pleasure, that's going to make a world of difference, and you'll get yours. Most guys, you can be pleasured by the end of the night. It's pretty easy most of the time. So just focus on her pleasure and watch what happens.
Yeah, it's like magic. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. So when we're talking about, because foreplay is, I think, sometimes in the world of sex with partners more fun than actual penetration, because it's like the buildup gets so hot, and close on or close off. I think that it's great recommendation. And we always talk about foreplay and communication, but sometimes you just want to communicate with your body and your tongue, right? So I love that. Yeah. And then the lubrication is important. And I think that all it comes to beforehand when you're ready for the positions now. So you've made out, or you've done your foreplay, you've tickled the pickles and the kitties. And you're ready to go into the position world. And you've already mentioned the sporking, which I love. We've talked about the wishbone, but not really, because I just flipped through that, and that was the legs were. I can't wait to talk about more positions. So let's talk about not only favorites of yours, maybe if you've had feedback from people that you've worked with over the years, but what positions would be ones that people overlook a lot of times or skip over, but could really transform your pleasure?
One of the ones that I like to talk about is missionary. It's it's the most common, it's traditional. It's actually one of my favorites because you can be more intimate. You can look into your lover's eyes. You can wrap your arms around each other. But you can also have great orgasms if you just align your bodies properly and just make small adjustments. It's all about the details. So, for example, put a pillow under your hips. We're in missionary position. He scoots up a little bit. So when you think about the normal position, you'd be together, and he kind of scoots up maybe 3 or 4 inches higher up on your body. So now his face is maybe more towards up by your forehead. Now, all of a sudden, the angle of his penis is going in differently. And now you're being rubbed all over your vulva and the entrance and your clitoris. And here's the other thing is keep the penetration low. When what I mean by that is grinding and gyrating. So gentle hip movements in short circles, but stay inside instead of going in and out. Because if we have constant contact on the clitoris and your lower pelvis is rubbing against it while your penis is inside, that's what gives us the orgasms.
Yeah.
So you want to think about the difference between stroking for you versus stroking for what's going to feel good for her. It's very different and it's very subtle, but you'll find yourself if you stay inside and just kind of grind and move slowly when you're in her, you're giving her a vulva massage with your body and that'll make her come.
And it's like porn sex, which was like the thrusting and like you leave, you're out in, which is like so much for the camera and maybe for the penis owner versus actual sex that vulva owners would really get off to and enjoy.
That's right.
Yeah. I like that. In the eye contact thing, I resonate with that. So I love missionary because I'm a connection person. Like I'll have my partner going down on me from afar and I'll be like, you're too far away, come up here. And I like the missionary aspect of like, okay, we're here and we can do like, missionary with him basically vertical or really close to my body or perpendicular where he's further away and then I can ask him to come closer. And then I've had experiences also switching to like doggy style where my body naturally is contorting in a way where I can still look at him, where I'm desiring for that connection piece. And that, I know that that's a me thing. Not everyone wants connection in penetrative sex. This is like an important thing for me.
Yeah, that's great. And that's what's so great about sex is there's no rules.
Yeah.
And you can do it different all the time. You can have the connection or not. And if you're role playing, then that's a whole other thing. Yeah. And another position is girl on top, cowgirl, because this is when the woman's in control. So you can actually create your own orgasm and use him like he's a sex toy per se. So what I suggest to actually create an orgasm when you're on top is once you're there, scoot your body down a little bit. So maybe his penis is more vertical upright than it would be if you were kind of like closer, higher up. So now you have a different angle going on. So it's all about the angles and depth and movement. And so once you're in the right angle, then you tilt your hips a little forward. I'm trying to like do this on the couch here. So you're kind of like laying out your vulva against his lower abdomen.
Like pop your booty back?
Pop your booty back so that the rest of your clitoris and your vulva is actually touching his body. So you tilt your pelvis forward. So you like kind of like smush your pussy down into his lower abdomen. And now, again, you stay against his body. So you're not going up and down because that takes the stimulation
like
away
the
from
rabbit
the clitoris.
thing, like bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You want to stay close and gyrate and basically just rub yourself against him with him inside. So you can actually control the depth and the speed and the rubbing and where and align it properly.
So this was not on our question list, but what if he or whoever you're having sex with is like, you're saying you're using him as a sex toy. What if they or he is like, what about me? Like you're just doing whatever you want. Because I've experienced this. Have you guys experienced this before? Anyone with penis owning folks that were like, you're getting a little too off on your pleasure, and I actually don't really matter that much.
Oh my gosh.
You have not experienced this? Oh my goodness.
No, I haven't either.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, I would have thought that I was like, well, you know what I do for a living? I think that you would be really excited about this. And also, aside from that, I know a lot of people who don't do what we all do for a living, who have experienced this, and it was this shutting down of the body because you were tapping into yourself and you thought it was a safe space to do that. And then someone else has an issue with it.
Yeah, that's too bad because certain guys, when they see their woman get off, like that should turn you on.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be a complaint. It should be like, wow, go for it, girl. That's what I usually hear from guys. Like, wow, that's hot. Yeah. Because eventually you'll have yours. So if your girl's having a good time, that's what you want. It's about being a generous lover and a giver, not being a selfish person thinking about yourself. Yeah. Especially you can take turns. You know, he's gonna get his. So it's kind of like have your patience, slow it all down, have it be about your partner, and then you'll have yours too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you.
Check.
Fact. Most pussy owners need some sort of clitoral stimulation to orgasm, and many are not having orgasms from penetrative sex.
Say what?
I know, right? This is one of the many reasons why we are obsessed with OMG Yes. Not only has it changed our lives in the orgasm department, but I've been recommending OMG Yes to my clients for years, and it's completely changed their sex lives as well. OMG Yes features scientific research of real vulva owners, aka women, showing techniques to pleasure the pussy. They turn the research into tasteful, educational short videos, animated modules, and infographics for easy visual learning.
They call it OMG Yes for a reason, because OMG Yes is for anyone who wants to learn about pussy pleasure or take it to the next level. Whether you're a beginner or someone who wants to take your orgasms from good to mind-blowing, then you need to check out OMG Yes. They have 3 seasons: external pleasure, internal pleasure, and sex toys. It's not a subscription service, y'all, so you don't need to download a single thing. And it's great for partners who want to pleasure that pussy too. And for listeners of our show, OMGS is offering 10% off when you go to omgyes.com/shameless. Again, that's omgyes.com/shameless to receive 10% off unlimited access towards enhancing your pleasure power forever. Newsflash, everybody. We are picky about our lubes.
Can we say uber picky?
Yes, we can. And let me tell you all why Uber Lube is our absolute favorite lube ever. Uber Lube is a luxurious silicone lubricant that I want all over my body. Yes, it's designed for sex because it enhances intimacy while allowing you to still feel the skin-on-skin contact, but it feels so good that I want it everywhere. Uber Lube is long-lasting, leaves your skin feeling velvety smooth, and it's there when you want it, but then it dissipates when you're done.
Yes. Aside from using Uber Lube for all of my sexy sessions, and I use it all the time, I also use it for massages, for my hair frizzies, to prevent chafing, and it brings out the color of your beautiful tattoos. Thousands of doctors and therapists in the U.S. alone are recommending Uber Lube to their patients because it's body-friendly, less likely to change the pH, and has vitamin E so it feels moisturizing on the skin. Uber Lube has no flavor or scent, which means it's also great for oral sex. And it comes in a beautiful glass bottle with a pump top, which means easy access to Pleasure Town.
Want to see why we think Uber Lube is the best lube in the world? Then go to uberlube.com and use discount code SHAMELESS to get 10% off and free shipping. Again, that's uberlube.com right now with code SHAMELESS for 10% off and free shipping. Well, this is where toys could come in too with the grinding piece, right? Because I know that you have some toys, but like cock rings that vibrate the penis, but that you grind into are really helpful if you want to experience like that external stimulation while you're being penetrated. That's helped me be able to orgasm during penetration because I haven't been able to, even with like really solid grinding. So I'm wondering if you have any suggestions for people if they're new to cock rings, if you think that would be helpful, or do you recommend just keeping toys out of it and working on just like body to body contact and then mastering that and then moving to like the intermediate level with toys?
Sure. I think anything can go, whatever anyone's comfortable with. There's no specific order or right or wrong. But the one thing I want to point out is that clitoral stimulation is essential. It's not optional. Almost all women require some sort of clitoral stimulation to have an orgasm. So guys, when you think about that, you might be the best lover and great at making love, but if her clitoris isn't in the picture, she most likely isn't going to have an orgasm. And that's what you want. You want your woman to be pleased so she comes back for more.
Yeah. And it will inspire her to get on top and ride you too, right? Like if for me to enter into that zone, it's more vulnerable. I need more confidence in that moment, in that space. And if you pleasure me for a while and I can see that it's really safe and I can relax and I'm like, yes, I want to get on top of you and ride you.
Right.
But without that, I'm less inclined.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm inclined to maybe try getting on top more now.
Yeah.
Talking about this.
Are you feeling a deficit?
It's usually, don't get on top often because I really don't orgasm from it unless there's.
Me too.
Like, it's like
I'm with
pointless. So I'm
you.
always like, I'd rather not. And that's just me. And I know that there are people like that. And I don't know positions of where your the clitoris is on the body, if it's facing out, facing in. I didn't know if that was because of the way my vulva was designed. However, I know that people do love when their partner's on top. So, but there's also like the back door. I saw one of the positions, missionary, where you can be missionary. So that was interesting. So let's talk about, because the back door we talk about a lot. So let's put a pin in that. And
ouch.
Because when you struggle with wetness and you may have some pain, struggle with getting wet, right? Because maybe there is foreplay, but you drank too much wine the night before, or you just aren't lubricated and you have lube, but you still have dryness and there might be discomfort, right? In when you're being penetrated as a woman. What are some body safe ways to experience this riding and penetration in a more pleasurable way?
Well, that's where using some lube comes in. There's no shame in that. And especially if you're middle-aged and you're getting older, it's natural for a woman to not produce as much lubrication as before. And sometimes we need it. And that's why I created Go Love CBD Serum, to actually help with that and provide relief if you have sexual pain from certain conditions. But getting on top is not always about the end goal, nor is sex in general. So sometimes it's fun to just hop on top just so he has the visual stimulation that he likes. You don't have to do it for a long time. You don't have to have marathon sex, but the variety, and that's another way to give to your partner. If it's something that he likes, you can do it for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't have to, you can have your orgasm how you prefer and what works best for you, but it's kind of fun to just switch it up just for the sake of having variety and excitement in the experience.
Human bodies are so interesting because they're ever changing. Like for me, I'm now in the same boat as you, April. Like it's not my go-to position for having orgasms, having the most pleasure. And with what you're saying, Dr. Sadie, I have these moments and windows where I'm like, okay, my partner likes this, so I'm going to jump on there and have in a consensual space where I'm actually a yes to this, everyone.
Do you ever ask yourself how long you're supposed to stay on top? Because this is what I do.
I used
and then
to
I'm
in
in
my
my
20s.
fucking head. I'm like,
In my
how long do I
20s.
have to stay up here?
Yeah.
It's like fun, but I'm like,
my legs are tired, my knees are...
In my 20s, it'd also be like, well, he did this for X amount of time, so I need to do like that kind of stuff. And now I feel like I have moved beyond that. I still have moments where I'm like, or I'll do like, it's been a couple of weeks since you've been on top, so you need to get up there. But it's just not how I have my primary orgasms. In my 20s, that was my squirting position. I would generally squirt for being on top, and I could figure out how to ride the cock. And now it's like, I'm not as squirt driven either. And I've tapped into more of my subby kink side. So being on top, I'm like, who is this person? Mostly a sub. So I'm a little confused up here, but he's super turned on, and it's very connected because it's generally in a missionary position. Sometimes I'll do the reverse cowgirl, which makes it actually the sex toy thing easier to use sex toys on myself when I'm not facing him and perpendicular facing outward, and then I can use a sex toy on my clit. That's fun.
Yeah. Fingertips are really nice.
Yeah.
I think men or partners can actually spend a little more time touching a woman's vulva, clitoris during sex.
Yeah.
And there's certain positions that make it a lot easier, but that's what's going to make her come. So like all the positions that both of you like, go at it, but it doesn't have to be the end of where the orgasm happens.
Yeah.
Because you know what works for you. And maybe when you're ready to finish the session and go to sleep, that's when you go and you get in that specific position that you know how to do it. So all the rest is just for fun and play and foreplay to that particular time where you're like, okay, I'm going to come now.
And do you have the belief, the stance that foreplay is foreplay like before, but also continues on through sex?
Absolutely. Sienna and I were just talking about that on the drive, that you might be nice and lubricated and wet and good foreplay and ready to go, and you start having sex. And then after a little while, you get dry again and you need to kind of replenish. So all you do is take a break, do other things, kiss again. And if you know how to kiss your woman, she will get a stream going. And that's the entryway to everything. I was like, when you walk in the doors of a mall and you have like all the stores, it's like, if you can kiss her right, she will get wet. Yeah. And that's what you want. So you just take a break. You kiss, you fondle her, you suck on her nipples, whatever it is that she likes, go down on her, and then you can get back at it. So you do want to take those breaks And this is where it's good to communicate too, because you want to check in with each other and know your partner, because sometimes it's hard to speak up if like, it's kind of feeling like it's hurting, but you don't want to disrupt the flow, or you might be embarrassed to say something. So it's important to be conscious of your partner and empathetic to their needs, and kind of just create the experience that works for both of you so that you're both having a good time.
Yeah.
My partner's had burned out forearms before from so much preparation. He's like, I'm getting a cramp. I'm like, okay, let's
have a glass of water, take a break, and see.
But he gets all frustrated. He's like, I don't feel like I'm doing it right because nothing. I'm like, it's okay. I'm getting there. It's just sorry. With like this is where we bring in the toys, okay? Because I don't want you getting a cramp and like have sweat. You need to wear a headband for sweat and some wrist warmers.
Wristbands. The 80s.
Yeah.
Leg warmers.
Yeah. You know what? That's dedication, though. You have the whole outfit. You're ready. You're like, I mean business.
He'd be so mad if he knew that I was saying. He'd be like, what are you talking about? Everyone's going to think I get cramps. When I don't always get cramps. I eat more bananas now.
So I think it's hot, though. He'll work
potassium.
so hard that he gets cramps and is able to come back around to working harder. That's fucking hot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just as good as it gets. Right?
And that you guys can talk about it and laugh about it. That's the other thing, is like, sex isn't supposed to be so serious.
Yeah.
Just have a good time. And, if you try a new sex position and like open up the book and just pick something from Ride Em Cowgirl and you guys roll off the bed, then that's the world.
Yeah,
like,
open a new page
laugh,
too. Yeah, laugh and then be like, okay, let's try this other one. That one was funny.
Well, like I didn't do that one. That one was good.
I love the idea of trying new things, because there's been a lot of positions where I've tried without the guide that you have laid out, and my partner ended up with like bruised shins for me being on the end of the bed, and I was like, oh man, that's
He's
not
like, fuck you, Dr. Sadie. Although it was not from your book.
No, it wasn't
I heard
from
that,
your
yeah.
book. So this is fun, but I'm like curious about, do you have, okay, so as someone that really wants to experience G-spot stimulation, because we get this all the time. And of course, we can't guarantee that this is going to happen and you can squirt with G-spot stimulation. Everyone, it's G area because everyone is different. Do you have a position? You've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a few tricks up your sleeve.
Yeah, because every body is so different. Like every woman's body, every penis is so different. You're going to have to experiment and try different things. If you're having sex with someone who has a banana dick, that would
the curve. Yeah.
Exactly. Or they can curve to the left or the right.
I love a good banana dick. Gotta say.
Those are good for G. Those are
There
good,
you
right?
go.
For G-spot, right?
Right.
So seek out a banana dick, everyone.
But then you move your body to contort towards the curve, right?
But the first step is to know the anatomy and where the G-spot is. And it's really about being inside 2 or 3 inches, not all the way up. Usually it's kind of inside and up, like kind of under your belly button. If you picture a woman on her back and you put your fingers inside of her and you kind of curve them like you're saying, come here, little girl.
Come hither.
Come hither. And you go in and up. And it requires firm pressure. It's not like the clitoris where it's like a lot of gentle stroking. It's a lot more firm pressure than you would think. So you want to experiment. And using sex toys is good for this. So instead of like trying so hard with the penis, which takes a lot of practice, you can get a G-spot toy that's curved perfectly and that's firm. And you can even do it yourself, at home and find your own G-spot. And then you kind of are familiar with it. You know how to locate it. Then you can kind of guide your lover or be with him and know kind of how to position it so it's hitting it. So it's basically the angle and going upward once you're inside a little bit.
Sometimes sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think it goes in cycles. Amy, we've talked about that.
It makes sense because our bodies are different every day, or every hour. Sometimes April and I'll be next to each other. We're like kind of horny right now. We don't not like fucking each other. And then 10 minutes later, we're like not horny at all.
Totally.
We're all over the
wave.
place.
There was a time where the G-spot was so easy to access, and now I feel like it's been a little bit, and I'm like, what? It's not working.
Is this thing on?
This thing's not on. No matter what I do.
I think phases or seasons, right? It makes sense.
It's like the 7-year cycles.
Yeah, and just being open to whomever you're playing with, whether you're riding someone or they're pleasuring you as the rider-ridey, that you're taking into account that what worked an hour ago or yesterday might be different, or with another partner. Everyone's always changing.
Okay, so we have to wrap up because we are going to interview your daughter next.
Hey.
I'm so excited. So nicely. So can you tell folks, we know about ticklekitty.com. What's next for you? If people want to find more Dr. Sadie, where can they find you? And what's next for you?
Yeah. So ticklekitty.com, golovecbd.com, Instagram, Dr. Sadie Allison. And I am in the works of some new projects that I'm really excited about. I don't know that I can give too much. I'm thinking about inventing a sex toy.
Don't tell everyone about it because they'll steal your idea.
I couldn't yet, but it's going to revolutionize the industry.
Yes.
If I can do this.
I can't wait.
And
She'll be back on our show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm going to send you prototypes.
Oh, yeah. We'll test it for you. Yeah, we got this. We got this. Yeah. We got this. We also have a dog fight outside that's happening right now as
Apologies,
we wrap this up. So everyone stay tuned also because when she comes back, this maybe you could be testers too. We get those. Can I be a sex toy tester?
Oh, yeah.
For
a lot
real.
of our listeners want to do
They
that.
want that job. Okay, so check out Dr. Sadie. She is really a groundbreaking sex educator, author who we adore, and I share a birthday with her, July 16th. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you. Yeah.
Dr. Sadie.
You too.
So thank you to all of you who are listening to this. Check out Dr. Sadie's books. She's got a ton of different books, but Ride Em Cowgirl is what we were referencing here. The imagery is great, and it's an easy read. I put it on the back of my toilets because for reading when people are at our house, I think that's a fun thing. And they're like,
That's where most people get their reading done.
That's what I'm saying.
I've heard of that. I've heard people say they get stolen all the time. They're like, where'd my book go?
The small, compact, easy read.
I don't invite people to my house that will steal. However,
Right.
I would not be happy about that, but I would give it to them if they wanted it. And I'll be like, Dr. Sadie would approve. So for anyone looking for some entertainment and in the bedroom and in the bathroom, go ahead and check out Dr. Sadie's work and give us 5 stars, y'all. We need more reviews because reviews help us reach more listeners out there and have more shameless sex. And they can also do some better bucking, right?
There you go.
AKA
Fucking, bucking, making love. I heard all the terms.
All right, y'all. We will see you next Tuesday for another episode of Shameless Sex. Thanks for tuning in. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.